This is Jang Song-thaek. In 2012, he was the second most powerful man in North Korea. He was Kim Jong Un's uncle, his mentor, the man who personally guided the 27-year-old's chaotic rise to power. This is also Jang Song-thaek, 1 year later, December the 8th, 2013. He's being dragged out of a high-level party meeting by 2 uniformed officers in front of hundreds of North Korea's top officials. 4 days later, he was dead, executed as human scum worse than a dog. The man who built the throne was publicly, brutally, and bizarrely destroyed by the king he had just crowned. Why? The answer is more than just a family feud. It's a cold, calculated performance. It's the playbook for how a young, untested kid cemented his absolute power and became the ruthless dictator the world knows today. When Kim Jong II died in 2011, nobody thought Kim Jong Un would last. He was 27. He'd spent his teens at a private school in Switzerland. He was a son, not a successor. The assumption, both inside and outside North Korea, was that the real power would be a regent, and that regent was universally understood to be this man, Jang Song-thaek. Yang was the ultimate insider. He was married to Kim Jong Un's aunt. He had spent 40 years building a massive personal network that stretched across the military, the party, and, crucially, the country's money. He controlled the state-run trading companies that brought in billions from China. He was the power behind the throne. And for 2 years, he played the part. He stood next to his nephew at every military parade. He guided him on-the-spot factory inspections. He was the adult in the room. But here's the thing about a system like North Korea. It's not a committee. It's not a partnership. It's a theocracy. A cult of personality where there can only be one son. Jang Song-thaek made a fatal mistake. He started acting like he, too, was a son. By mid-2013, Yang was running what was essentially a state within a state. He was pushing his own agenda. He wanted Chinese-style economic reforms. He was making deals with Beijing, sometimes without his nephew's full approval. He was building his own power base, rewarding his own loyalists. In a monarchy, that's called ambition. In a dictatorship, it's called treason. Kim Jong Un, it turned out, was not the weak puppet everyone assumed. He had learned one lesson from his father and grandfather. You don't share power. You take it. And you crush any threat before it can even think of growing. In November 2013, Kim sent a message. He had 2 of Yang's closest aides arrested. They were charged with anti-party activities. They weren't just jailed, they were reportedly executed with anti-aircraft machine guns. This wasn't just an execution, it was a spectacle. It was a warning to Yang, get in line. Yang, according to all reports, miscalculated. He thought his family ties, his deep roots in the regime, his control of the money, made him untouchable. He wasn't. Which brings us back to December the 8th, 2013. This arrest is the key. This wasn't a quiet, middle-of-the-night disappearance. This was political theatre, performed for a very specific audience. The 200 officials in that room, the entire old guard of North Korea. Look at the image. The officers aren't secret police. They are regular, uniformed state security. They walked right past Kim Jong Un, grabbed the second most powerful man in the country and dragged him out like a common criminal. And Kim just watched, expressionless. The message wasn't for Yang. He was already a dead man. The message was for everyone else. It was Kim demonstrating, in the most visceral way possible, your loyalty to him means nothing. Your experience means nothing. Your connections mean nothing. I am in charge. For 4 days, Yang disappeared. Then, the propaganda machine roared to life. And this is where it gets truly bizarre. On December the 12th, the state news agency, KCNA, released a 2,700-word statement. It confirmed Yang had been tried by a special military tribunal. Yes, they accused him of treason and attempting to overthrow the state. But they also accused him of clapping half-heartedly when Kim Jong Un spoke. They accused him of behaving arrogantly, of not properly managing the mosaic of his grandfather's image on a wall. And the language, they called him despicable human scum, and worse than a dog. Why? Why this almost childish list of grievances? Because it was a redefinition of treason itself. Kim Jong Un was signalling that treason was no longer just plotting a coup. Treason was now bad posture. Treason was not being enthusiastic enough. In a Kim's new North Korea, anything less than 100% total ecstatic adoration. On that same day, Yang was executed, but the purge had just begun. This is the final terrifying part of the playbook, eradicating the bloodline. It's a tactic called yunjuaje, guilt by association. In the weeks that followed, Yang's entire network was systematically destroyed. His closest aides executed, ambassadors and diplomats loyal to him recalled and vanished. His entire extended family, his sisters, his nephews, even his grandchildren, were reportedly rounded up and sent to prison camps. Or worse. His wife, Kim Jong Un's own aunt, disappeared from public view for 6 years, presumed by many to be dead. You don't just punish the traitor, you erase his name, his family, and his memory to ensure no root of his betrayal can ever grow back. The execution of Jang Song-thaek wasn't a sign of instability. It was the final act of consolidation. Kim Jong Un took the most powerful, most connected, and most untouchable man in the country, and in 1 week, he proved to the entire North Korean elite that their old guard status meant nothing, that family meant nothing. There was only one power, one sun, and anyone who forgot that would be burned.